You wake up at 5 in the morning while the world is still asleep, and suddenly everything you thought was impossible becomes possible. This is not about waking up early. This is about waking up to your life. I want you to imagine something right now. Imagine you are standing at the edge of your potential, staring into the darkness, knowing that everything you have ever wanted is waiting for you on the other side. But you cannot see it, you cannot touch it, and every single day you tell yourself tomorrow I will start, tomorrow I will change, tomorrow I will become the person I know I can be. But tomorrow never comes, does it? And I am here to tell you that the reason tomorrow never comes is because you keep giving your power away to the snooze button. You keep trading your dreams for comfort. You keep choosing sleep over sacrifice. And that ends today. Because there was a man just like you, a man who had nothing but debt, despair, and a broken spirit. He worked long hours for little pay. He came home exhausted. He looked at his children and could not give them what they deserved. He looked at his reflection and did not recognize the person staring back at him. He was drowning in mediocrity, suffocating under the weight of his own excuses. And every night before he closed his eyes, he whispered the same prayer. Please let tomorrow be different. But nothing changed because he did not change. Until one night, something inside him snapped, not broke, snapped like a twig under pressure. And in that moment of pain, in that moment of absolute desperation, he made a decision that would alter the entire trajectory of his existence. He decided to wake up at 5 in the morning, not because someone told him to, not because he read it in a book, but because he realized that if he wanted a different life, he had to become a different person. And different people do not do what everyone else does. So the next morning, when his alarm went off at 5, his body screamed at him to stay in bed. His mind flooded him with excuses. It is too early. You are too tired. You need more rest. What difference will 1 hour make? But he got up anyway. And that first morning, he did not feel powerful. He did not feel inspired. He felt exhausted. He felt like a fool. He sat in the silence of his tiny apartment and wondered what he was even doing. But he showed up, and that is all that mattered. Because showing up when you do not feel like it is the definition of discipline. And discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Day 2 came. The alarm rang. His body was even more tired. His mind was even louder. But he got up again. Day 3, day 4, day 5. Each morning felt like a battle. Each morning his old self tried to pull him back into comfort, but he kept showing up. And then something miraculous started to happen. The silence that once felt heavy started to feel sacred. The darkness that once felt suffocating started to feel like a canvas. And in those early morning hours, when the rest of the world was still asleep, he began to build a new version of himself. He started reading books that expanded his mind, books that challenged his beliefs, books that showed him what was possible when you stop making excuses and start making moves. He started writing his goals, his dreams, his plans. He stopped hoping things would change and started designing the change he wanted to see. He started moving, push-ups, sit-ups, running, not because he wanted to look good, but because he needed to feel strong. He needed to prove to himself that he was capable of doing hard things. And every single morning he showed up, even when it was hard, especially when it was hard, because he understood something that most people never understand. Success is not about the big moments. It is about the small decisions you make when nobody is watching. It is about choosing discipline over comfort, progress over perfection, growth over sleep. Weeks turned into months, and slowly everything started to shift. His mind became sharper, his energy became higher, his confidence became unshakable. He started showing up differently at work. He started speaking differently to people. He started believing differently in himself. And people noticed, his boss noticed, his co-workers noticed, his family noticed. But most importantly, he noticed. He noticed that the person staring back at him in the mirror was no longer a victim. He was a warrior, a builder, a man on a mission. And then the opportunities started to come. A promotion, a side project, a new idea. Things that were always there but invisible to the old version of him suddenly became clear. Because when you change, everything changes. Within 1 year, his income doubled. Within 2 years, he started his own business. Within 3 years, he was living a life that his old self could not even imagine. But here is what I need you to understand. It was not the money that changed his life. It was not the success. It was not the recognition. It was the identity shift that happened at 5 in the morning. It was the moment he decided that he was no longer going to be controlled by his circumstances. He was going to control his circumstances. It was the moment he stopped being a passenger in his own life and became the driver. And that is what 5 in the morning represents. It is not just a time. It is a declaration, a statement to the universe that you are serious, that you are committed, that you are ready to do whatever it takes. Because let me tell you something, the world does not reward people who are comfortable. It rewards people who are relentless. It rewards people who get up when everyone else stays down. It rewards people who sacrifice when everyone else settles. And I know what you are thinking right now. You are thinking, this sounds great, but I am not a morning person. I need my sleep. I am too busy. I have responsibilities. And I am going to tell you the same thing I would tell anyone making excuses. You are right. You are absolutely right. You are not a morning person. You do need sleep. You are busy. You do have responsibilities, but you also have dreams. You also have potential. You also have one life to live, and you are wasting it by choosing comfort over commitment. You are trading your future for an extra hour of sleep. And that is the most expensive trade you will ever make, because time is the one thing you can never get back. You can make more money, you can build more relationships, you can learn more skills, but you cannot make more time. And every morning you hit that snooze button, you are telling yourself that your dreams are not worth fighting for, that your goals are not worth sacrificing for, that your future is not worth waking up for. And that is a lie. You are worth it. Your dreams are worth it. Your family is worth it. Your potential is worth it. But you have to believe it enough to act on it. You have to believe it enough to get uncomfortable, to get disciplined, to get relentless. And I am not saying it is going to be easy. I am not saying you are going to feel motivated every single morning. I am not saying you are going to want to do it, but I am saying it is going to be worth it. Because every single person who has ever achieved anything meaningful did so by doing things they did not want to do. They pushed through the pain. They fought through the fatigue. They showed up when it was hard. And that is what separates champions from everyone else. Champions do not wait to feel like it. They do it anyway. So what are you waiting for? What is stopping you from becoming the person you are capable of being? Is it fear? Is it doubt? Is it the voice in your head telling you that you are not good enough, smart enough, strong enough? Let me tell you something about that voice. It is a liar. It has always been a liar. And it will keep lying to you until you prove it wrong. And the only way to prove it wrong is to take action, to get up, to show up, to do the work. Because talk is cheap, excuses are easy, but results require effort. And effort requires discipline, and discipline requires sacrifice. And sacrifice requires you to get up at 5 in the morning when your body is begging you to stay in bed. That is the secret. That is the habit that changed that poor man's life. Not because waking up early is magic, but because it forced him to become disciplined. And discipline is the foundation of everything. Discipline is what turns dreams into goals, goals into plans, plans into action, and action into results. Without discipline, you are just hoping. And hope without action is just a wish. So stop wishing, stop hoping, stop waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is now. The perfect time is 5 in the morning. The perfect person is you. You just have to decide. You have to commit. You have to show up. And I promise you, if you do this, if you give yourself this one gift, everything will change. Your mindset will change. Your energy will change. Your results will change. Your life will change. Because you will no longer be the person who sleeps through opportunity. You will be the person who wakes up and creates it. You will no longer be the person who makes excuses. You will be the person who makes progress. You will no longer be the person who dreams. You will be the person who does. And that is the most powerful transformation you will ever experience. But let me take you deeper into this man's journey. Because what happened at 5 in the morning was just the beginning. What happened in the months and years that followed is what will truly change your perspective forever. After 30 days of waking up at 5, something shifted in his brain. The struggle became easier. Not because the alarm was less jarring, not because his bed was less comfortable, but because he had built a new neural pathway. He had rewired his identity. He was no longer the man who hit snooze. He was the man who conquered the morning. And when you conquer the morning, you set the tone for your entire day. You prove to yourself before the sun even rises that you are in control, that you are disciplined, that you are unstoppable. That power carries over into everything you do. He started noticing patterns. He noticed that the most successful people in history were early risers. Benjamin Franklin, Tim Cook, Michelle Obama, Dwayne Johnson, Oprah Winfrey. These were not people who stumbled into success. They were people who designed their success. And it all started with how they used their mornings. So he studied them. He learned from them. He modeled their habits. He learned that the first hour of your day determines the quality of the next 23 hours. If you start your day reactive, checking your phone, scrolling through social media, letting the world dictate your energy, you have already lost. But if you start your day proactive, intentional, focused on growth, you take back your power. So he created a morning routine, not a complicated one, not one that required expensive tools or memberships, just 5 simple things that changed everything. First, he drank water, a full glass, because after 8 hours of sleep, your body is dehydrated. And dehydration kills energy, focus, and performance. So he hydrated first. Before coffee, before food, before anything. Second, he moved his body. 10 minutes of stretching, 10 minutes of exercise. Nothing extreme, just enough to get his blood flowing, his heart pumping, his mind awake. Third, he fed his mind. He read for 20 minutes. Not the news, not social media, but books. Books about success, books about mindset, books about people who overcame impossible odds. Fourth, he planned his day. He wrote down his top 3 priorities. Not 10, not 20. 3, because if you chase too many goals, you catch none. But if you focus on 3 things, you create momentum. Fifth, he visualized his future. He closed his eyes and saw himself living the life he wanted. He felt the emotions. He imagined the success. He made it real in his mind before it became real in his life. This routine took 1 hour, just 1 hour, but that 1 hour compounded into a life most people only dream about. Because here is what most people do not understand. Success is not built in one day. It is built in one morning at a time. One morning of discipline leads to one day of progress. One day of progress leads to 1 week of momentum. 1 week of momentum leads to 1 month of transformation. 1 month of transformation leads to 1 year of breakthrough. And that is exactly what happened to this man. By month 6, he had read more books than he had read in the previous 5 years. His knowledge had multiplied. His awareness had expanded. His thinking had evolved. By month 9, he had saved enough money to invest in himself. He took a course. He learned a new skill. He became more valuable in the marketplace. By month 12, he had built enough confidence to ask for a raise. And he got it, not because he deserved it, but because he had become undeniable. His work ethic was unmatched. His results were undeniable. His value was clear. But the external success was just a reflection of the internal transformation, because what really changed was not his bank account. It was his belief system. He no longer believed he was a victim of circumstance. He believed he was the creator of his reality. He no longer believed success was for other people. He believed success was his birthright. He no longer believed he had to wait for permission. He believed he could give himself permission. And that shift in belief changed everything. He started taking risks, calculated risks. He started a side business, something small, something he could manage while still working his job. but something that was his, something that gave him ownership over his time, his income, his future. The first few months were brutal. He was working 16-hour days, waking up at 5, working his job, coming home and working on his business until midnight. Repeat. Most people would have quit. Most people would have said it is too hard. It is not worth it. I need rest. But he did not quit because he had already trained himself to do hard things. He had already proven to himself that he could wake up when he did not want to, that he could push when he was tired, that he could persist when it was painful. And persistence is the only thing that separates those who make it from those who do not. Year 2 arrived. His side business started gaining traction. Clients came in. Revenue grew. His confidence soared. But more importantly, his identity solidified. He was no longer an employee hoping for a better life. He was an entrepreneur building a better life. By year 3, his side business was making more money than his job. And that is when he made the scariest decision of his life. He quit. He walked into his boss's office and resigned. Not out of anger, not out of frustration, but out of confidence. Because he knew he had built something real, something sustainable, something that could support his family and give him freedom. And freedom was always the goal. Not money, not status, not recognition. Freedom. Freedom to spend time with his children. Freedom to travel. Freedom to create. Freedom to live life on his own terms. And he got it. All of it. Because he made one decision 3 years earlier. He decided to wake up at 5 in the morning. Now let me ask you something. What would your life look like 3 years from now if you made that same decision today? What if you stopped hitting snooze and started hitting your goals? What if you stopped wasting your mornings and started winning your mornings? What if you stopped being ordinary and started being extraordinary? I am telling you right now, everything you want is on the other side of discipline. Everything you dream about is on the other side of sacrifice. Everything you desire is on the other side of 5 in the morning. But you have to be willing to pay the price. And the price is comfort. The price is sleep. The price is your old identity. Because you cannot become a new person while holding on to old habits. You cannot build a new life while living in old patterns. You cannot create new results while repeating old behaviors. You have to let go. You have to evolve. You have to transform. And transformation is not comfortable. It is not easy. It is not convenient, but it is necessary. Because the life you are living right now is the result of the decisions you made yesterday. And the life you will live tomorrow is the result of the decisions you make today. So what decision are you going to make? Are you going to keep doing what you have always done and keep getting what you have always gotten? Or are you going to do something different, something bold, something that scares you? Because I am going to be honest with you. Waking up at 5 in the morning is going to scare you. It is going to challenge you. It is going to push you to your limits. But that is exactly why you need to do it. Because growth does not happen in comfort. Growth happens in challenge. And if you are not being challenged, you are not growing. So challenge yourself. Starting tomorrow. Starting at 5. Set that alarm. Put it across the room so you have to get out of bed to turn it off. And when it goes off, do not think. Do not negotiate. Just move. Get up, drink water, move your body, feed your mind, plan your day, visualize your future. Do that for 30 days, just 30 days, and watch what happens. Your energy will increase, your focus will sharpen, your productivity will skyrocket, your confidence will soar, and most importantly, you will prove to yourself that you are capable of doing hard things, that you are capable of change, that you are capable of greatness. Because greatness is not reserved for a select few. Greatness is available to anyone willing to work for it. Anyone willing to sacrifice for it, anyone willing to wake up for it. And I know you have it in you. I know you are capable. I know you are ready, but knowing is not enough. You have to act. You have to execute. You have to commit. So commit right now. Commit to waking up at 5 in the morning for the next 30 days. Commit to giving yourself this gift. Commit to becoming the person you were meant to be. Because the world needs you, your family needs you, your future needs you, but they do not need the version of you that hits snooze. They need the version of you that wakes up ready to conquer the day. They need the version of you that is disciplined, focused, relentless. They need the version of you that refuses to settle, that refuses to quit, that refuses to give up on your dreams. And that version of you is waiting. Waiting for you to make the decision, waiting for you to take the first step, waiting for you to wake up. So wake up, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Wake up to your potential, wake up to your purpose, wake up to your power, because you are more powerful than you realize. You are more capable than you believe. You are more deserving than you think, but you have to claim it. You have to own it. You have to live it. And it all starts at 5 in the morning. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe for more videos like this.